Today we're going to talk about 8 different ways to get out on the sand dunes in the Lower Peninsula this spring on this episode of Go Here and Do This. Dune hiking. We have plenty of dunes along Lake Michigan, and early spring is some of my favorite times to go out and hike those particular areas. And the reason being, typically it's just a bit cooler during the early spring, so you don't have to deal with the heat of being out on the sand. And because in the spring we get more rain, a lot of times that helps pack down the sand a little bit, so then you're dealing with less sand in your shoe, because that is the one downside to hiking on the dunes, but the springtime helps with that. Early season dunes are great because if you're hiking in the woods, everything is supposed to be like green and colorful. But the dunes, well, they're always the color of sand. So you feel like you're more out on the beach earlier, and it feels less like winter is ending and more like summer is beginning. We're pairing this video with Summer Fling. Now, I know we're talking about the spring, but this feels like one of the best ways to get a jump on the summer and extend your season by starting just a little bit earlier. All right, so now let's get to the list. The Sleeping Bear Dunes, Pierce Stocking Drive. What I think of when I think of this particular area is this is a spot for a family trip to drive from one spot to another and see the beautiful views. If you're taking somebody for the first time, there are a lot of really good trails in that area. If you're going to be going out with a few people that are willing to be a little bit more adventurous, go there, do that, take them out, have a good time. Now, number 2, Arcadia Dunes Baldy Trailhead. I've looked it up 100 times now, and I think that that's actually what it's called. If you go down the trail, it splits, and on the left, there's a nice overview with a deck that you can stand on, and that's cool. But my favorite is when you go right. It's a little bit of a longer hike, and it gets you to a more natural area of the dunes with one of the steepest sections, and when you're there, there's usually a few less people, so it's kind of cool to just be able to hang out for a while. I'd recommend bringing some food in that case because, man, it's a cool spot to just hang out and maybe even see a bald eagle, which is like, I don't know if that's why it's called Baldy Dunes, but makes sense. Number 3, as we're working our way down south, is the Nordhouse Dunes. Here's the problem with this one. I don't actually have any footage of the Nordhouse Dunes because that's typically where I go to just unwind. I don't really ever bring anything. It is the most rustic version of dune hiking that I've ever experienced. Number 4, Ludington State Park. This park is just filled with rolling dunes. Some of them are right on the edge of Lake Michigan, and when you're driving to Ludington State Park, you can just pull off to the edge and really have a big chunk of what I'd consider beach with some dune connected to it, and it's a great beach day. But if you're more into like the hiking part of it, if you go right when you get into Ludington State Park, there's some that are more inland, and those ones are equally as cool because the views from those are great, and they're pretty unique in the way that they kind of roll in and out of the trees. Number 5, I didn't mean to put the list like this, but we're still just heading south. Now we're talking about Silver Lake Sand Dunes. Most people, when they think about Silver Lake Sand Dunes, think about a dune buggy jumping off the edge of Test Hill, and if you can, do it. It's amazing. But early spring, the pedestrian area, the hiking area, it is amazing. The dunes are absolutely huge. With the heat being down, the humidity being down, it's way more comfortable being out for that long. The views over top of Silver Lake are amazing, and if you take the time to walk out to Lake Michigan, it's really cool because it's these huge dunes. They're super tall, and then all of a sudden, you kind of go through this last little forested area, and then you're boom, right on the edge of Lake Michigan. It's a really cool, unique experience that if you haven't done that one yet, it's definitely up there. Number 6. This isn't actually being out on the dunes at all, but anything from Nordhouse to Silver Lake, if you're looking for a place to have a really nice dinner and sit down and relax after being out on the dunes, that's where you go to Ludington Bay Brewing. We really like going there. We've been going there for years at this point, and now they're the ones that help us make videos like this possible, so we really appreciate them because we really like their food and their beverages there. Their rotating tap list, it's pretty incredible. Now, number 7, the Saugatuck Dunes. I really like these because it's kind of a combination of traditional wooded trails, and then it opens up into some pretty cool dunes that have a bunch of little nooks and crannies to explore. I usually end up planning for half the day being out on the dunes and then the other half being downtown Saugatuck because there's a bunch of cool shops that you can go there. I love the coffee shops there, and there's really good places to eat. Before I get to this last one, I'm not trying to cover every single dune along Lake Michigan. But as far as going further south, Van Buren State Park is an awesome choice. Really, I like starting up in South Haven and then biking down to Van Buren State Park because there's a nice trail that runs along there. I think last time we were there, we even played some disc golf. Technically, this footage is from the fall, but you get the idea. It will work in spring too. Last year was my first time being at that particular spot, and I really enjoyed it. It was a wonderful beach walk, and I didn't know that the dunes had so much height. Usually when we're going further south, the dunes seem to be a little bit more of like rolling dunes. No, not these ones. Really steep, really cool. I enjoyed them a lot. As always, I want to say thanks to Ludington Bay Brewing because they help make videos like this possible, and they help keep our cooler stocked up on our spring provisions, and that is very much appreciated. Until next time, cheers.